Welcome to Contemporary Retirement. Contemporary Retirement is a public interest program focused on the retirement community. Every program has segments on legal, financial, and health issues affecting the retirement community. Contemporary Retirement is sponsored in part by a major grant from the Family Heritage Trust Company.
Contemporary Retirement is sponsored by Family Heritage Trust Company. The Family Heritage Trust Company is an independent bank chartered trust company established by local professionals to provide fiduciary services, including fee-based investment advice, trust services, retirement planning, and tax planning. The Family Heritage Trust Company is committed to client service in our communities. For more information, call the Family Heritage Trust Company at 301-631-5900.
Contemporary Retirement is sponsored in part by a grant from R. Thomas Murphy & Associates, P.C. R. Thomas Murphy & Associates is one of Franklin County's leading law firms, emphasizing estate, trust, elder law, and medical assistance planning.
Welcome to the Is It Legal feature on Contemporary Retirement. Is It Legal focuses on the legal issues affecting the retirement community. With me today is Tom Murphy from the R. Thomas Murphy Law Firm with offices in Waynesboro, Chambersburg, and McConnellsburg. Welcome to the show, Tom.
Good morning, Mike.
Tom, you know, it's very interesting. First of all, we have nursing homes every day telling people they don't need a lawyer. They're going to do this application for free.
Oh, absolutely. But in the end, it ends up costing the family potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars unnecessarily.
Because in fact, the nursing home has only got one objective, and that's to maximize their profits. And in reality, we have a few that will tell people that they need to protect themselves, but the vast majority of them do not.
Exactly, and they know what we do. And in many cases, we get referrals from them trying to fix things or help them. But, you know, there's, as we described, this cone of silence where they just don't tell the whole truth.
And one of the challenges that we have here is that their contracts are misleading, create an impression that there's nothing you can do. It's reinforced by the admissions director. And the plain fact of the matter is the medical assistance rules affirmatively state you can exercise any rights that are available to you, and the nursing home cannot restrict your ability to do it.
Exactly. They're two different animals. Of course, the nursing home would like to get your private dollars because they can charge you whatever they want to, and if you don't like it, get out. But on the other hand, they all take Medicaid around here, and Medicaid is a federal program, so they have to follow these rules or they'll be barred.
And people are afraid, well, I'm going to end up in a Medicaid ward.
Well, they just don't exist anymore. I mean, I walk around nursing homes every day, and I just can't tell who's on or who's not.
Well, federal law specifically prevents no Medicaid wards.
Exactly.
Also says the nursing home cannot move you from a standard room to any other room as a result of going from private pay to public pay. And so the reality of this is they create this aura as if it's going to be some sort of a big issue when in fact it's not.
Exactly, and so it's just a matter of knowing your rights, and that's the real crux of this is unless you speak to an expert, you're not going to know what your rights are because the rules aren't being shared freely out there in the nursing home world.
And one of the problems that we have in this environment is unqualified lawyers, CPAs, financial planners, next door neighbors, friends and relatives telling people that if you find yourself engaged in the nursing home, there's nothing you can do.
Well, exactly, and I spend an inordinate amount of time, as I know you do, dispelling those rumors and wives' tales and fixing problems that otherwise supposedly qualified people created unnecessarily.
And it's unfortunate, you know, but the fact is that we have a number of lawyers that say they're elder law attorneys but have never done a Medicaid case. It'd be equivalent to going to an orthopedic surgeon who's never done a knee replacement. I tell you what, I don't want to be the first one.
Well, that's what happens, and so these folks end up being victims, and they don't know what they don't know because their attorney or accountant didn't tell them the full picture because they didn't know the full picture.
One of the other challenges that we have here, unfortunately, Medicaid is a complex process, and it does involve significant legal work in order to qualify a person. And the reality, though, is that it's two bad choices. You can either engage the law firm to help you with it, or you can pay indefinitely a $10,000 a month nursing home bill. But one of the challenges that we have here is the fact is a family can call us. They can have a consultation. They're not going to pay a big fee. We're just going to sit down and discuss with them what their options are, explain what they are, And yet I have people come up to me at my seminars all the time and say, well, I heard I can't have an appointment with you without giving you $10,000, which is
That's
just
nice, Mike.
absolutely, yeah, I wish it was true, but it's absolutely not true. How about you?
No, we don't charge to talk to folks. And again, it's a matter of what are we going to do and what does it cost to do that? And that's just a discussion.
Well, we oftentimes tell people our goal is to equip you to make a good decision. Not to engage us at that first meeting, but to help you understand how to make a good decision. Tell the family, go home and think about it. These are your options. Decide whether or not they make any sense.
Right, and in some cases, we're telling families that we don't need to do anything here. We're either eligible, let the nursing home do it, or because of life expectancy, other factors, let's not.
Well, you have a person in a nursing home, they're going to live 3 months because they're on hospice, so almost never going to do a Medicaid case in that environment because it just doesn't make any sense.
Exactly. But, the point of that is that we can at least tell them the reality rather than let them guess or listen to some ill-equipped person to tell them something.
Tom, as always, thanks for taking time to appear on the program.
You're welcome.
More from Contemporary Retirement after these messages.
Few things in life are as important as family. Leave your insurance orders to us. Write Gardner. Call or visit our website to learn how we can make insurance simple and more affordable.
Every life that meets its end leaves a heart for love to mend. Sister, brother, family, friends are left to carry on. When the loss seems more than you can bear, it's nice to know that we'll be there at Double Save Fiery Funeral Home. We care.
Call Ed Lowe to help put your mind at ease.
Welcome to a special guest feature on Contemporary Retirement. This segment focuses on various issues which are of importance to the retirement community. With me today is Noel Fridgen, who is the Marketing Director of Washington County Humane Society. Welcome, Michelle Noel.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So, obviously as we look at this holiday season, occasionally there is this romantic idea that giving a pet to a family member or a friend is a great idea.
Yes, and the Humane Society would have to disagree. So there is this romantic idea, like you said, about giving a pet as a gift, but after, the excitement of the gift giving, a pet is a lot of work. There's a lot of responsibility that goes into caring for a pet and a lot of financial commitment that goes along with that. So if you surprise someone with a gift like that, they don't necessarily have the income or have the means to take care of the pet from that point forward.
Or the willingness, perhaps that little surprise that comes right after the dog is delivered in the front room may or may not suit you.
Exactly, yeah, and so many animals, dogs and cats, have different personalities and different needs, and you want to make sure that your lifestyle fits their needs. So you don't want to get a young puppy when you have more of a relaxed lifestyle. So it's definitely a conversation. It's something you really want to give some thought into before getting an animal.
So when somebody comes to Humane Society, they come, and one of the things that you do is assess the family, the home, their desires, their willingness to commit to the pet, the amount of effort that it's going to require. Mm-hmm. And so you actually want to work to kind of design an adoption that makes sense.
Exactly, yep. We call it Meet Your Match. And it's a program where we go through the needs of the animal and the personality of that animal and compare it to your family's needs, lifestyle, children, ages, things like that. And we only approve adoptions that we are completely comfortable with. So it's definitely a conversation that you have with the adoption counselor, and it's an in-depth process because we want to make sure it's the right fit and that animal doesn't come back to the shelter.
As we deal with the retirement community, there's going to be lifestyle choices, but there almost be a person who is 80 years old has to be very circumspect about adopting a pet that might have a 15-year life expectancy.
Exactly. So that's another reason, if you are a little bit older and looking to adopt, a senior pet is a great choice for you, because that animal too may not have 15 years to live. They might have just a few, and just enough time for you to really enjoy a companion for several years.
So we look at Cooper here. Cooper's about 8 years old.
He is.
Yeah, he's not real active, doesn't require a lot of effort, and so he might be a great companion for an older person.
Yes, exactly. And he's being older, he is set in his ways. He doesn't want to change too much about his lifestyle. So an older couple or individual, someone like that who just has a calm household and is also set in their ways, they could get along great.
And Cooper doesn't need a 2-mile run every day.
Absolutely not. He had a little bit of a hard time getting into the car today, so he definitely would probably prefer to stay at the house and just stay cozy inside.
All right, so but we all know that that socialization is a very important part of being satisfied late in life, and the studies are very clear that a pet can help along those lines.
Yes, they can. There are lots of studies that show animals can help decrease depression rates and just really enhance a person's life. So I think no matter what your age, it's definitely beneficial if you're able to own a pet.
And of course, the one nice thing about the dog is that every day they love you.
Yep, and they have no biases or anything. They just love you no matter what.
And so it's great company, and also, if a person that doesn't like being by themselves, it gives them an opportunity to have some socialization with the animal. Also, you occasionally get some, older folks that are saying, I'm not sure that I can afford that animal.
Yes, and to that we do have a program at the shelter. It's called Silver Linings for Seniors, and that is a financial assistance program for senior citizens 65 years of age and older who are interested in adopting but might be nervous about that initial adoption fee, or if you have adopted from the Humane Society of Washington County and your animal has medical issues, you can apply and possibly get financial assistance for the medical bills as well.
Because it's a mutuality here. Obviously you want to make sure an animal ends up in the right place, but you don't want the possibility of that animal, having to be put down because we didn't have enough resources to take care of them, so you help strike that balance.
Yes, we are all about resources at the Humane Society and finding alternatives to euthanasia, because we do think every animal, deserves as many chances as they can possibly get.
And so Cooper will probably not be here, but you'll have somebody else equally nice ready for the person else.
Oh, I'm sure we will, yes.
And how can they get a hold of you?
So you can call us. Our number is 301-733-2060, or you can visit our website, which is hswcmd.org.
Noel, thanks for taking time to appear on our program.
Thank you.
More from Contemporary Retirement after these messages.
Tranquillity at Fredericktowne Assisted Living and Memory Care provides a warm, home-like atmosphere that promotes daily life enrichment. At Tranquillity, our medical director is a geriatric physician. Our professionals support and understand the various stages associated with Alzheimer's and dementia. We have on-site physical, occupational, and speech therapists, as well as around-the-clock licensed nurses. For more information, give Tranquillity at Fredericktowne a call today, because everyone deserves great care. Let us do the caregiving so you and your loved one can embrace life again.
Dad, there's the big one. There's the big one. Just wait.
There's the monster.
Just one more bid on hurleyauctions.com. I got it!
If you haven't visited hurleyauctions.com, you don't know what you're missing. Whether you're buying or selling, antique cars, tractors, boats, or real estate, you can do it all at hurleyauctions.com.
Get to know Dr. Carrie Hesley at Diagnostic Imaging Services.
What I find most rewarding is caring for women through our Women's Imaging Center. We have a caring staff that will ease patients through an ultrasound, bone densitometry, breast biopsy, or mammogram. Our health team is sensitive to emotions involved in women's imaging and understands that every woman is at risk for breast cancer. Providing the community with a center that is so dedicated to breast health and the imaging needs of women is something special.
DIS Women's Imaging Center, providing women with progressive care.
Welcome to Contemporary Health Scene. Contemporary Health Scene focuses on the health issues affecting the retirement community. With me today is Bridget Keefe, Community Relations Director, Tranquillity of Fredericktowne. Welcome to the show, Bridget.
Thanks, Mike.
Bridget, you know, you and I spend an awful lot of time really focused on trying to make certain that a person, as they begin to lose capacity, is both fully engaged, safe, and as healthy as they can be.
That's right, and that they understand their options too.
And when we talk about fully engaged, you know, oftentimes people think as they begin to lose their ability to stay at home, it automatically means they're going to lose control of their lives.
Right, and that is not the case. When you are at home, you do become trapped, and you almost have less control than if you had somebody to help you.
We oftentimes say that if for some reason you're unable to drive safely any longer, that you're sitting in that house and you're waiting for somebody to show up. And granted, you know, some of our viewing area, there's Uber, but most of our retired citizens are not going to use it, so they're waiting for a child to show up.
Right, and there's only so much Wheel of Fortune you can watch before life gets pretty boring and dull if nobody shows up.
If you're really lucky, you can switch channels and watch it.
That's right.
And get all the answers right.
There you go.
but the answer is that, you know, it's really focused on keeping people fully engaged, having a full quality of life. And one of the things that we find is that socialization is the single most important aspect of a person being satisfied later in life.
And that's true, but it's also true, you and I can say that, but from a scientific research standpoint, socialization and activity really do stave off cognitive decline.
We're going to have Director Greg pull up some pictures here, but the reality is that, and when we say socialization, we don't just estimate playing bingo. What we have here is a pony.
We've got a pony, yeah. And the interesting thing is that this pony was abused. So for this pony to come visit everybody at Tranquillity is therapeutic not only for the residents, but for the pony as well.
Little poker game here.
Yep. Yeah, there is poker. No clothes off, so I guess it's the straight-laced kind. But yeah, everybody's playing poker.
And, you know, and part of it is that, you know, if you like playing poker in your 20s and 30s, chances are you still like it.
Right. That's correct.
And so what do we have going on here?
We made a scarecrow to promote the Alzheimer's walk, and these ladies are very attached to him.
And yeah, so part of it is keeping people engaged,
right.
and we find that, you know, for instance, that your facility is a beautiful facility, but oftentimes we'll find people, if they're in a facility in which they know people and they've been engaged with them in a prior life, they're completely content. It really doesn't matter what else is going on. Socialization is that important.
That's correct. Yes.
Now, you know, one of the things about Maryland is that Maryland 20 years ago did not license assisted living facilities. And in fact, they were essentially just glorified babysitting. But today, it is a totally different environment.
It is. We're fully licensed by the state. We're actually a level 3 provider, which means we can give really extended care that you wouldn't have seen even 2 years ago.
And I oftentimes caution people that this preconceived notion about the level of service that can be delivered in assisted living has just been totally changed. And the reality is very straightforward. The government wants to cut its nursing home population. The way it cuts its nursing home population is not trying to get rid of the sickest of the sick, but to lower the standards that they will allow to go into, well, increase it actually, so that assisted living can deliver more care.
Right. Feeding tubes, for instance, we couldn't do even 3 years ago, and now we can.
And catheters, you know, and all, you know, you can't do ventilators, but you can do a tremendous amount of services. And the fact is, in the previous times, is if a person, you know, had some mobility issues, it automatically meant a nursing home.
Right, and now we have caregivers who will literally push someone in a wheelchair to activities, to the dining room, to get on the bus, anything like that.
In the meantime, having an independent apartment, you know, control of your life, you know, the ability to come and go as you please. You're not in a semi-private nursing home room, which is what everybody thinks. It's just an alternative, independent living arrangement that provides support.
Right, and I always tell families, this is not your grandmother's nursing home. You can do whatever, if it's legal, you know, grandma can have it in her apartment.
So if she can drive, she can still drive.
Right.
If her doctor says a cocktail's all right,
then she can have a cocktail in her apartment or with others.
So the reality is it's designed to increase independence,
yes.
not reduce independence.
Increase independence and foster that sense that I can make choices.
And how can they get a hold of you?
They can call 301-668-6030 or pop in.
Bridget, thanks for taking time to appear on the program.
Thank you, Mike.
More from Contemporary Retirement after these messages.
The Community Foundation has helped create signs of community strength for more than 30 years. Scholarships assist with post-secondary education, and grants support programs throughout Frederick County. Making a big impact. Because of generous donors like you. Add your sign of community strength by creating a fund that supports the causes you care about.
Albright, Crumbacher, Mal & Idell are a full-service firm that provides elder care services including managing incoming bills, bill payment, depositing checks, balancing bank statements, and preparing, planning, and filing personal tax returns. Put your mind at ease and call us today.
Welcome to the Making Sense feature on Contemporary Retirement. This segment focuses on various financial issues affecting the retirement community. With me is Doug Fiery from Douglas Fiery Funeral Homes. Welcome to the show, Doug.
Thanks, Mike.
You know, Doug, there's this perception that everything on the planet, you can get it off the internet, all the information there is correct, and that, you know, if you got it on the internet, it must be true.
We've seen that commercial many times, haven't we? You know, that's true. A lot of times with things like that, you know, people purchasing sometimes some funeral merchandise and things, you do have to be aware of where that's coming from and the quality of the material that you're getting.
You know, and the internet doesn't have any filters on it, so, you know, somebody could post up, you know, some, you know, pretty outrageous stuff. We've seen that in the recent election. You know?
That's true.
And people read the stuff and think it's true because it's on the internet, and, you know, I've just never seen a more unrestricted environment to say whatever the heck you want to say.
That's true. You know, and it's like everything else, you know, it looks good sometimes on pictures, but are you really knowing what you're getting? Where is it coming from? You know, when it comes shipped in, who's responsible? You know, if it comes in, all of a sudden it's damaged or it's not exactly what you want, what are the repercussions from that sort of thing?
So let's talk about some common misconceptions and some of the traps that people step into. First of all, there's this perception that if you're dealing with a cemetery, you have to use their funeral home.
Right. No, that's true. A lot of people think that it might be a convenience sometimes in that sense, but no, you're free to use whatever funeral home that you'd like to, and, you know, and we go to all kinds of different cemeteries all over the country actually. So there are great opportunities to use any number of funeral homes in the area.
And the second piece of this is that routinely you're cooperating with funeral homes perhaps in another area because the fact the person wants some sort of a portion of the service here, you know, might want a burial or interment somewhere else, may want to have a second service there, and you're not there to try to jam them into a particular model. Just tell us what you need, we'll figure out how to do it for you.
That's exactly right. You know, and that's really what it is. We're there to help them facilitate what it is that they want to accomplish. And we do a lot of that. We especially up and down the East Coast of the United States, we're moving people a lot of times. People move to Florida, have built some relationships down there. They end up having services in Florida and then coming back home to their hometown and having services here. And we do move up and down the coast. In fact, not very soon here, I'll be going to New York for a burial. So we're definitely helping them do whatever it is they want to do.
And then, of course, you have that unfortunate situation where somebody is not living in Florida, but they might spend 2 or 3 months down there in the wintertime, and they pass down there. But in fact, you know, they want that service up here. This is really where their orientation is. And most of the time, families are just clueless on how to manage that.
Right. And I think that's a really good point because so many people get so involved in really what it takes is just a phone call to us or to a funeral home, and they'll take care of everything. They'll coordinate with the funeral home down in Florida, for example, take care of all those things that you don't have to worry with.
Range transportation.
Everything. Everything from top to bottom.
You know, and it's not just write me a check. It's, you know, the services that you're providing are, you know, itemized. You tell them this is this, this is this, this is what we're doing. So, you know, just because you make that phone call doesn't mean it has to be a big check.
No, it's exactly right. There's every case is different, every family's different, every want that they have are different with every family. And we have to sit down and really talk with them and get a little feel for where they are because it's not cookie cutter. Everybody's different and we want to meet those needs. So.
And then we have the problem with the internet. Easy to take a pretty picture, easy to take a pretty picture from all sides, but it doesn't reflect the quality of the construction or what's actually going on. And so, you know, there's this perception if I buy it on the internet, I'm getting comparable quality for a less price.
Right, and that's really not true, because you're really not having that opportunity to look at that piece of merchandise and to see how it's made and what it's, you know, where it's made. You know, all the merchandise that we have is made here in the United States, and I think that's important. The quality of what goes into it is hugely different than what sometimes you're getting on the internet.
Plus, you have a relationship with the manufacturer. If there's something wrong with that thing, they got to fix it, and they got to fix it now.
Right, and they are super with that in this area. You know, if I have a problem or anything, I can call the people, our distributors, and they're actually right up there the very next day. You know, so that's really important.
Whereas you buy that thing on the internet, yes, you'll take the delivery for it there, but you can't be responsible for the quality of it because you weren't involved with the decision on what was being bought.
That's exactly right. And then, you know, if you already have a funeral planned and it's going to happen in the next 3 to 4 days, and you're worried about how do we get this thing shipped back, how do we make it right, it becomes a real headache.
And so the point is your service business. You know, you want to be fair with your customers. You want to sit down and work through, you know, what do they need, what do they desire, what did the person who passed desire, and try to make sure that you deliver that to the family.
Right, and that's our ultimate goal, is to make sure that we take care of them. You know, we're a business that does merchandise and things, but we're a service-oriented company, and I think that's the number one thing to remember.
I think the number one thing always too is that, you know, it's always better if the people plan their own so that everybody knows what's going on, but they don't have to write a check to come see you.
I just had a discussion with a family yesterday about that. They're thinking the only way they could do that was to write a check, and really, to make the pre-arrangements without pre-funding it is 98% of it's done. You know, the hard work is done when you do that. And you can come back and deal with that at a later time if you want to, but you can still get all that other stuff done.
Doug, as always, thanks for taking time to appear on the program.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you from Contemporary Retirement.
Remember a more carefree time? Leave your insurance worries to us, Wright Gardner. Call or visit our website to learn how we can make insurance simple and more affordable.
These days, it seems like everything's online, and filling out claim forms and receiving and paying bills online isn't always easiest. That's why we at Quality First Insurance encourage you to just give us a call. Let us help.
Hi there, I'm Paul Sweeney with Quality First Insurance, and it's still just this simple. Our offices are open every weekday where you'll be able to call and speak to real, live people.
No detail was missed. I'm so glad that I turned to Quality First Insurance.
I've recommended Quality First Insurance to my friends who've been just as satisfied.
If you're not happy with what you're paying for Medigap, or more importantly, not happy with your service, give us a try. We're locally owned, and we take the time to provide you with the best. We are Quality First Insurance, and our mission is to provide quality products to quality people. Pick up the phone and give us a call today at 800-745-1411.